So I walked past the InvestTech table earlier, and I heard them say, "Is that Visi? Is that Visi Tembekwaya? Eh?" He seems to have lost some weight. Is Tembe Galafeng in the audience? Okay, he was meant to moderate my talk earlier, so I want you guys to give me a rating after this conversation, since I've had no one to give me a fair evaluation. But anyway, my name is Zuko Tisani, as mentioned, and I'm founder of Kiosk, which is South Africa's first video commerce platform. And I thought long and hard last week, how do I want to introduce myself to this audience? Do I begin with a painstakingly long list of accolades, because credibility? And I thought rather let me have a moment of vulnerability and honesty with this audience, just to try something new. It is the 7th of June, 1969, in a township in Ebeja, where a young, shout out P girls, where a young girl was born. In her early childhood, she was caught in a house fire where she was engulfed by flames, burning her from the head down. She spent the childhood fleeing off bullies and her nose within textbooks, being the best in maths and science, where she would obviously go on and study at Rhodes. The middle picture here is the earliest picture I've seen of this woman. At 21 years old, her father was able to get a reconstructive surgery, and she was able to obviously regain her true appearance and her beauty. But the tragedy does not start or end there. She goes through this new part of her early adult years, now feeling empty, lost, without a perspective of self-love and identity, and experiencing abuse. So one day she decides that she wants to give her life to Christ. She makes this decision, and on that day, till today, she continues just to exude love. I like to call this process ABZ. Can the audience say it with me? ABZ? ABZ. So A is the point where you start at. B is the point where obviously you are thriving and keep picking up to a certain destination. And Z obviously is a destination. I like to think we're all here because we have moved somehow from A to B. And I'd like us to obviously think about our Bs. What are you trying to really do? What are you doing on a day-to-day basis that moves the needle for you 1%? I'm going to give you a live example of something that I'm trying to do now. According to the World Economic Forum, the 10 businesses that work best with humans and AI are these job titles here. I added in creative strategist because that's what I want to do. But I'll be actually on my way to the World Economic Forum this evening on a plane to Switzerland, so that makes me cool. A creative strategist basically does what a lot of you do in the room, but obviously trying to integrate it with AI. Looking at pieces of content, putting it out, and then looking at the data and saying, how do I reapply that and how do I do it better to obviously make the audience that I'm trying to appeal to respond the way I want them to respond. So one thing that I'm doing right now, just to keep myself accountable to being the best creative strategist in South Africa, I'm on this new platform called Substack. Has anybody ever heard of it? So Substack, I believe, is bringing back the blog era. So to give out my age, that's where I was, placing blogs. And I believe Substack is going to replace our Instagram, where everything's like really pretentious, like where a picture like this, that picture you just took, that'll go on my Instagram. But something a lot more true and honest about day-to-day building, about what it really takes, the struggles that you're experiencing, that real vulnerability, I'm going to be putting it out on Substack. And what I'm really trying to appeal you guys to do is to just start journaling. Start documenting your process of moving from B to Z, and hopefully obviously land at a place where you can obviously look back on this year and say, what have I done on a day-to-day basis that has made the 1% accumulate to me to be where I need to be in my life. I'd like to end with just a little bit of self-kindness. I think the most important thing of any goal that we kind of set for ourselves is our mindset. I think the harshest people to ourselves are ourselves. I think we speak to ourselves so poorly. I think we don't give ourselves enough credit of where we've come from. And I believe with that mentality, you will be the only person or the main person that stands in your own way to obviously reach where you want to reach. So begin with language. Begin with the kindness that you want to see come to yourself. And it starts with wording like this: I'm not nowhere, I'm now here. It gives an appreciation of exactly how far you've come to this particular point. It gives you the motivation that tomorrow I can now push it an nth degree a little bit more, but I am now here. Speak to yourself in kindness. Take yourself to new heights this year. Document, be honest. And these are going to be my talks on the different jobs that I hope to speak to you about if we get time to work again. But yeah, I appreciate you guys' time. Appreciate it. Bye.